Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, well, we're jumping into something pretty fascinating, but definitely complex from our sources. We're talking about the actual Temple Atonement and how it ties directly, really profoundly into the 7 plagues. And the sources seem to lay out a whole sequence, almost like a roadmap for these critical events.
Exactly. And our goal today really is to give you a clear path through it all, a shortcut maybe. We want to show how the sources describe sin being, totally dealt with, how God's justice unfolds, and how it all links back to those ancient symbols and prophecies we find in the material.
Okay, let's unpack this first part then, this actual Temple Atonement. What exactly are the sources getting at? It sounds like more than just forgiveness.
Oh, much more, yeah. The material we're looking at presents it as this ultimate cosmic cleansing. It's not just wiping the slate clean. It's about removing the very possibility of sin, fundamentally, from righteous being.
The possibility itself, wow.
Right, and the sources use that powerful image from Leviticus, the high priest going in alone to atone for the tabernacle. It suggests nobody else can be in this actual temple while Jesus performs this final act. And Revelation mentions the temple filling with smoke. That signals, apparently, that entry is barred until those 7 plagues finish. It's a unique, isolated event.
Okay. And this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. The sources directly link the start of this atonement to the first resurrection. Why is that specific event so crucial here?
Well, the first resurrection is framed as this massive spiritual turning point. It's described as the moment sin can't happen anymore for the righteous. Their free will is completed.
Completed, not removed.
Completed, perfected, maybe. It's not about losing choice, but about God's love and justice being so incredibly clear, so proven that doubt just vanishes. For those specific creatures, anyway. And the sources are clear. This happens before any kind of great white throne judgment. This completion itself is enough, they suggest, to prevent sin going forward. It's a fundamental shift.
Right. So while this ultimate atonement is happening upstairs in the temple, so to speak, back on Earth, things are getting intense. That's when the 7 plagues hit.
That's the sequence, yeah. And the sources depict these plagues quite specifically. They aren't random disasters. They're presented as direct divine judgment poured out on the wicked.
Okay.
The material even links it back to numbers the idea that shed blood pollutes the land and needs blood, essentially, for its own atonement. So these plagues are God's justice in action, bringing judgment on criminals, like Revelation describes. It's even framed as an answer to the prayers of martyrs asking for justice.
That raises a big question, though, reading through this. Do the sources say these plagues are absolutely necessary for everyone's free will to be completed? Like, do all righteous beings need to witness this specific judgment?
That's a good question. And the sources seem, nuanced on it. They definitely show God's justice powerfully. But they also suggest the plagues mainly hit, quote, a small number of wicked people from a particular time. They don't seem aimed at, say, fallen angels or all the wicked who've ever lived and died.
Okay. So more localized in scope, in a way.
In terms of direct impact, yes. And the sources seem to conclude that the first resurrection itself, that proof of God's character, is actually what's sufficient. That's enough to complete the free will of the righteous, even if they don't directly experience or see these plagues unfold on earth.
So thinking about the righteous who are alive, or maybe just resurrected, what happens to them during this turmoil? Are they protected?
Yes, the sources are quite clear on that. Those resurrected righteous ones, the martyrs specifically, they're shielded. Isaiah uses that language of being hidden in a secret chamber or brought to the sea of glass, safe from the plagues. So you see this whole really intricate process unfolding. From the cross, through the first resurrection, this unique temple atonement, and then the plagues, it's presented as God systematically, step by step, removing not just sin, but the very potential for sin from his creation. The writings stress that God's patience has limits. His judgment in this context is framed as an act of love, ultimately, protecting the oppressed, cleansing reality.
Wow. It really does lay out an incredible picture of God's commitment to both love and justice.
Yeah,
it's a lot to take in. Very detailed, very specific sequence described in these sources.
it absolutely is. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, something that comes through in the material. Consider this implication. If God's truth and love weren't absolute, weren't totally reliable, creation itself, as depicted here, couldn't even exist. It would be impossible. What does that suggest about the fundamental trust woven into the fabric of the universe and, into our own existence?
That's definitely something powerful to chew on. Really makes you reflect. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.